All right, welcome back to It Is Unwell. Episode whatever we're at now. There's not many, but
really
we lose track very easily. Things have changed. We've added Lauren for a special guest appearance. Lauren Kaleah. Yeah, give it a little wave. What's the best way to describe Lauren? She asked us to do this exercise on Monday.
I did for premarital.
And neither of us were
helpful.
helpful. Yeah, neither of us were helpful. And I was like, did you just ask normal friends after that?
No, I left the question blank. But we didn't get to it anyways.
I think I said something like very general, and then I gave the fist emoji for the third. Because that can encapsulate a lot more than you should have drawn an answer.
I was also at junior high, and I was trying to come up with something.
I was driving. I texted. Yeah.
It was a lot.
She had asked for premarital counseling. She had asked, how would you describe me in 3 words? And neither Kaleah nor I could give a legitimate answer.
Kaleah said, on the toilet.
I did.
I said, well, I can't write that down.
And then it was trying to think of something like really, we're not over the top, like sweetsy type friends. We're good friends. Like we're
all of the
nice.
positive words I would attribute to you, but like I wouldn't be like, this is how I describe my friend.
Yeah,
we don't take any of that seriously. That was a very hard exercise. Did Seb get any friends to do that?
We didn't get to the question, so I didn't get to hear what his friends said about him.
But they answered.
Yeah. I'm sure he got something.
I'm sure something was.
But they were.
I really wish you would have gotten there and then had to explain.
I would have just pulled up the text messages and said, "This is what I'm dealing with.
This is what I'm doing."
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Honestly, I tried really hard to think of something, and everything that came to mind was just too out of pocket for any premarital counselors to handle.
Yeah.
Like, truest form is in Cancun, and they're like, what does that mean? And I'm like, you'd have to see it. You'd have to see it.
That's really silly.
Yeah, truly anyone close, that's like, and only 3 words. It's like, how do you describe anyone that's the closest friend you have, like one of the closest friends you have, and go, describe them in 3 words? That's not enough.
I have a hard time just describing you guys in general.
Yeah.
Because once you reach a certain closeness, it's like, crap, I don't know the shallow things.
I was gonna say, or I don't like categorize them like that.
Yeah.
A distant friend, I'm used to describing because I introduce them, I explain them to other people. You guys, I never have to explain.
Yeah.
Because you've just been a part of my lives for so long.
Yeah. So if we can describe you, don't take it personally.
I wouldn't explain a personality. I'm like, you have to experience, Lauren. It's not just
can't put in words.
See, if you've ever been to a jungle with Lauren, that was pivotal in even our friendship, and we were already really good friends.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We've seen each other in do we call them? Like a choose your fighter form.
Choose your fighter. Yeah, your primal form. We've seen all of each other in the depths.
All
of just nature has wrecked us inside and out.
It hasn't been kind.
And nature has not been kind.
No.
Yeah, and countless times. We go on, for reference, you guys met, I guess it's easier to do where we met. We met freshman year volleyball on our team.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys met, so we've been friends since high school, freshman year, and then super close throughout. And now we're years out of, high school and college. But
we met in 2020.
Yeah, through mutual friends at the church. The same
and did
time
we girls trip in 2021?
To Palm Springs.
That's wild.
That's crazy. Good for us.
Yeah, we got on that quick.
Yeah.
So now we do annual girls trips. So around August every year, you just stare at the she went like this. She stared dead at the camera because I think she remembered me.
Because I've only been looking at you guys.
That's fine.
Yeah, I
naturally
the audience
to the camera once I'm explaining something that's outside.
Okay.
But we do girls trips every year around August, and so she's like blinking. She's like
everyone.
She's just switching between them.
She's really giving the audience all of her attention. The audience being literally 3 people.
I know. I was gonna say, like, you're just doing this for
We can start calling them out by name.
Yeah.
Lorraine, I know you're here.
Grace,
Amy,
Seb.
and Jason. Seb is here now that Lauren's here.
Yeah, Seb wasn't here round 1. Welcome.
And Paul because he has to.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, so we did Palm Springs,
South
South Carolina. What was our Cancun, and Cancun was like a full family one, so that wasn't just us. And then this past August we went to Kauai. As you well know, if you watched episode 1, which I highly recommend. And you may think like, oh, their trips are just isolated. We've gone on young adults trips together, and their experiences are just isolated to Hawaii. That was so brutal how nature took us out. It feels like every single trip. That's what we don't relax well.
We don't relax
The
well.
thing
vacation.
is, you're gonna find a prettier friend group. Like, I'm gonna say it. You're not gonna find a more chaotic.
And that's why Faith being added to our friend group really just
It's good for us.
really got us
Good
points.
for us.
The people
Faith, we needed you.
Good
We
for the
needed
team,
you.
Faith.
Insert photo of Faith. Faith, you're out of our friend league.
It's
And we're
so
very well aware of that.
You said that when we first started to become friends with her. You go,
Yeah.
I thought she was too pretty to hang out with us.
Yeah. Well, I saw, and she knows this very well because I think I brought it up the first time I actually had a conversation, but I was like, oh, I thought, like, you're so pretty, there's no way you could also be kind.
Yeah.
Or there's no way that you would ever, like, you're out of my friend league. There's no way you would ever want to hang out.
Yeah.
And now one of our best friends, genuinely. But out of our friend league, yes.
By far.
We don't take good photos together.
We
She's
don't- we
literally
have
a
one.
model.
She literally is a model and amazing and kind.
We have one good
We
photo.
have one half decent photo that we're all like, it's the one photo I can show people where like one of us is not sunburned, like eyes are bloodshot. Not for any, not like
Let's not,
we're doing
someone's
anything.
asleep.
Not like
All
we're
three are
doing
Lauren.
anything criminal or bad. We literally just struggle to live. Like it's almost so scary that it's like you put 3 girls together, they should be fine to walk to a coffee shop. Not I. Not I. The 3 of us together are a toxic combo, but it's what God wanted.
I truly believe it's God's plan for us to struggle so deeply. Every time we get back from a vacation, and we've talked about this before, on episode 1, we talked about this, and you would just think we have gone through war, and it's not just Hawaii that it happened.
No.
It's Cancun. It was Charleston. It was hours that we were waiting at the airport, so that was an awful travel day. Because the
in
lavatory
Mexico.
was filled. Didn't know you could stall.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, they delayed our flight for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And that was Southwest, so everyone was standing in line.
And then we got on the plane and it smelled like the toilet had been opened up to the public.
Yeah. And I went, just cancel the flight.
At one point, I don't know if you guys remember this, we have to get on that flight. There's like no water. They're not serving anything. We have to sprint to make our next flight. And we're in Texas. We still have no water, no time to get water. The flight attendant comes on and goes, we don't have anything. So, and like just leaves us with that. And he was like, we can like try and find something for you if you need. Like, do you remember him going over the intercom being like,
I remember we
don't
don't
have
have
any water
or something.
we don't have cups, we don't have water.
Yeah.
We might have like
We've had the worst
like
plane
really bad
experiences
flight
together.
experiences.
Yeah. Like Cancun.
Cancun has to be the top of the list.
Yeah. I probably won't go back to Cancun again because of how awful those flights were, especially coming home.
Yeah. Should we go into it?
Yeah. Just explain your experience. From your perspective, what was the worst part of that?
My experience. Okay. So on this flight, there was a group of people that were not from Mexico. They were not from America. And they just didn't share similar hygiene
standards.
hygiene standards.
Let me say it.
And
how it is.
manners.
Let me say how it is. They were escaping communist China, and I'll stand on that business till the day I die. They were so legitimate because
Like
they
legit.
didn't. legitimately.
A
because
news report came out afterwards about it.
Yeah.
Yes. And we were in a different row, and the flight attendant asked us to move. We're on, what was the airline?
Pilates.
Yeah, which is the
Shout out.
Spirit.
Shout out
Shout out
Pilates.
Pilates. Y'all are
did
the
us
worst.
dirty.
It's worse that it's the Spirit Airlines if you were to create a plane in Tijuana.
Yeah.
Like, it was,
Yeah.
it's awful.
How you get brown stains just on the common walls, I don't know. But I had them. I was literally looking at my walls, and I'm tearing up right now because I literally was so stressed.
Kaleah did cry on that flight.
I cry everywhere, but crying on that plane, I was like, my tears are going out, and they're leaving me unprotected. Like, something's gonna get in here.
Legitimately, so the way that we know they're from China is because they were in the emergency row, and the attendants come to us and they go, "Can you switch with them?" They don't know English or Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And so we go, "How did you get here?" It's also probably the cheapest flight out of Mexico City
Yeah,
we could
for
have been
sure.
on. We're going into TJ.
Yeah.
And so many things added up, and we're like, these people, they also were, what they were wearing, they were clearly so sick.
It was a large group also.
It was a very
Probably
large
at
group.
least
25?
20.
Very
I was gonna
large
say
group
25.
of people,
Yeah.
of Chinese people who don't speak Spanish, don't speak English, yet are in Mexico flying to the end destination being Mexico. Like, so concerning. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awful.
But I don't even know if I could repeat some of the things that they were doing.
I'm
I
going to
will.
repeat them.
I will.
I'm going to.
Because
It's so disgusting.
that's
It was
a hate
awful.
crime.
It was a hate crime
It
for
was a
sure.
hate crime.
That's what we
Kaleah-
should have done our citizens arrest on.
Ooh, I
dang
did
it.
look into citizens arrest.
Citizens arrest via plane. Actually, but we weren't in the States. So I don't know if we'd be protected.
I don't know what the code is.
Maybe we would
We
have
need
been
to we get arrested. I'm like, "No, this is my right." They're like, "You're in Mexico."
Yeah, you don't have rights in nobody has rights in
No
Mexico.
one has rights in Mexico.
The cartel
Or
has
China.
only rights. They bought them.
Oh, buying rights.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Their behavior on the plane was just disgusting. Like, using Q-tips and just putting them in front of the seat, or just violently hacking and like blowing their nose, and then like putting it just on the like ground next to them. All
Yeah.
of these tissues and stuff.
And silly little thing about a plane, it's tilted. Like, things are not like just sitting still. You drop your phone, it goes back. You drop your water, it goes back. So if the person in front of you drops a tissue, it's coming back. And so all of the people in front of us are just tissues, sneezing. It's just showering me. Like,
It's disgusting. And it was a long flight, and you're just closed in. You're breathing
Mhm.
that same air. All of us got sick after that.
Every single one of us.
There
Like,
was probably
really
10
sick.
people in our party, and every single one got sick.
Kaleah was like in the seat next to the emergency exit, and the man in front of her, since there was a space in front of her feet, was snot rocketing at her feet. Do you remember that?
I remember it. And
Repeatedly.
yeah.
Like,
And-
unashamed. Like, I truthfully believe they just didn't know.
Yeah. And like, I taught preschool and was a nanny. I've got a high tolerance for things that come out of the human body. When you're 40 years old and you're snot rocketing at my feet, I'm vomiting.
Yeah, for a full-grown man to do that is crazy.
I was literally, I also was already sick, and I'm starting to dry heave in my seat. And I'm like, he's snot rocketing. I'm throwing up. The person behind me is going to get a lot. Like, I think it was your mom.
Joe.
Oh,
Like, it was bad.
The person in front of Jaden was like clipping his toenails. So you're hearing
That's
click.
right.
Oh my gosh, to do
The
that on a
person-
plane is so feral.
There were
I can't
so
believe
many.
the
It wasn't
attendants
just
didn't
us.
say anything.
I think they tried and they just couldn't
I mean,
get a
you
word
can't
to them.
translate.
Yeah. Because when they were all standing up, like midway during the flight, the
Oh,
flight
yeah.
attendant was like, sit down with his hands. And they like just didn't.
They didn't. Yeah,
They
it
didn't
was
sit down,
so
so-
bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And then there was the guy that waved at you. or smiled at you.
Because you were crying.
Kaleah's just crying. We're in the emergency row because we had to take their place, but now that means we are so close to their group.
We're in the midst of them all, like dead in the center of them all.
And we were like, this is a mistake, but at least we have the emergency row, so we have like a few feet of buffer room from them. But Kaleah's just crying. Like, and we're also hysterically laughing.
Like, laughing, crying. I'm not, like, whining.
I kid you not. I
am whining.
Praying to the Lord, going, I don't just take me home. Not to San Diego.
No,
like,
home.
Lord, I don't want to survive another minute of this flight. Like, all of us, I guarantee you, all of us on that plane, we're like, I would rather just face my eternal, like, life right now than do another minute on that plane. I did not want to exist anymore.
Yeah, my toes are out and I have snot on them.
Oh, gosh.
First of all,
why were your toes out?
You were in flops?
Wait, no, maybe
that's
I
your
was
first
in
mistake.
shoes.
Okay.
I don't know, but I know that there was...
flops
was
on
I?
I was wearing Tevas.
You were in Tevas, so I feel like...
Oh, yeah.
I was in
but I didn't have my Tevas with me. No, I was in shoes. Anyway, there was just snot on my body.
Yeah.
And I was...
disgusting.
I was really going through it. And this man, as I'm like holding my head, hysterically laughing and crying, looks up at me. He gives me like a thumbs up.
Yeah, he did.
And I go, thanks.
You go, thanks.
I was like, thanks.
He keeps turning around. He's diagonal in the row in front of us, and he keeps turning around and just looking at us. And we're like, God, make it end. God, make it end. Like, we are just so weak. Genuinely, like, we could not survive any war, because after a few snot rockets, I'm like, God, I'm ready to go. And he keeps on fully rotating his body.
He was diagonal from me.
Yeah. Oh, he loved staring at you.
Yeah,
he was fascinating.
Yeah.
You might be the only brown person he's ever seen.
You know, I hope someday I run into him again.
Well,
we can't communicate.
Visit the border.
We can't communicate, and he did get arrested at the border. So
I hope
maybe
they're
I
in
don't
heaven, not because I really care about their eternal salvation, even though I should, just because I want to ask them, what the heck were y'all doing? Like,
I mean, I love America.
Taught you.
Like, that's not the way to get in, but I love America, so I get it.
I mean, I love America.
I understand.
Like, if I wasn't in America, I'd be like, dang.
No one's stealing your rights from you, so.
Dang, that's it.
Yeah, if I was in communist China.
Yeah, if that was my only way to get in,
would I land in TJ via plane on Volaris and
maybe TJ
cross the border
is where they wanted.
Crazy.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, so if there's a spike in disease circa 2023 November, I know where it came from, and I'll leave it at that.
We probably helped spread it. I'm sure we helped spread it.
Oh,
yeah, if you're in San Diego and you got sick.
Yeah. It's bad.
Not
Lauren
sorry.
gets 12 hugs a day. That's, you know how many people get infected from that?
For you.
It's healthy. It's healthy for you. And then
I needed it.
Sickly.
Part of my healing process. I got bronch. It turned into bronch. No, not
we got
then.
bronch this year.
We got bronch
that was
this
2024.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shared disease.
We love disease.
We do.
Yeah, and that was just Cancun. And then obviously I don't even know if we've talked about our Hawaii plane experience, but we were just sweating for hours.
Gosh.
The AC didn't work. I didn't even know that was like a possibility, but we were just sweating for hours on that one.
If the
South
AC
Carolina,
doesn't work, I
we
should
just
be
have
on the plane.
I agree.
awful luck when it comes to planes. So when you travel together, but yeah. It makes us closer.
Yeah,
and that's why we can't describe each other.
I was gonna
in 3
say,
words.
Hence the fact that I can't describe you like genuine,
I'm like
warm and
sweaty, crying,
muddy? Question mark.
Loaded.
Damp and muddy.
Describing you guys like a basement.
Moldy.
Dark.
Growing something.
Spacious.
Not a human.
Something.
Crazy.
Parasite.
Yeah. Patient zero.
Patient zero. Ooh, that's 2 words.
Got him. Pretty patient zero.
Pretty patient
3 words.
Oh my gosh.
We have about 10 minutes. have something that I have to share with you guys. It's actually 2 things. I was scrolling the other day, as you do.
What are you scrolling on?
Yeah, great question.
This is going to come out after burial positions. So they already know that you scrolled on Facebook.
Speaking of burial,
go back and watch if you haven't watched that.
If you haven't.
Because Kaleah will explain that she has a Facebook algorithm, or at least used to.
Yeah, I can't get into my Facebook. If anyone knows someone in Facebook, let me know.
Mark?
Speaking of... You say Mark?
Yeah, Zuckerberg.
I was like, what is say Mark? I was like, I can get into my Facebook. Mark can get... Sorry,
Yes.
Clearly I'm desperate.
Say Mark.
Wow. Speaking of burial positions, really briefly, I was considering my burial hairstyle because I was like, I'm gonna be straight up. I'm not like laying down where it's like
You're going.
I'd like
in
to.
this
I'd like
way?
to pencil dive. You know.
No, that makes
She
sense.
wants to have an open casket funeral, but her body's vertical.
You know, like the little stands for your Barbies,
Yeah.
where it's like just
You want to be put on like a peg?
yes.
Wow.
Not-
okay.
Okay, Barbie
Not like-
stands though don't go peg up.
It's
They
like-
go,
I'm
they
thinking
go-
about.
no, they go clasp.
It's
Like
like
it
hug.
clasps your waist. I
No,
know
that's not
you're
what I was thinking about. I'm thinking of the one that goes in the foot.
Okay.
No,
whole
please don't
house.
put anything in my feet.
Okay, good to know.
I was thinking about
No
my,
pegs.
my burial
No pegs.
hairstyle, and I was like, I don't know how old I'm gonna be. I don't know if a slick back is gonna be in. Like, and then I was like, ooh, slick back.
Dead slick
They
back?
might think I'm Gracie. Like, and
Yeah.
I can't defend that.
Slick
Like,
back. Slick.
can you
back and
imagine?
you're
I'm slick back.
Ashen faced? No.
Wait, I'm gonna be eyes closed. I was sorry.
She goes, prop them open. I want to see my hair.
You super glue.
I want to see you crawling back to me.
I can't. And so I was like, ooh, I love a good pony. And then I was like, I never wear a pony though. And
Why would
A pony? No way.
Well, and
Ponytail
then-
in
but my
death? You don't even ponytail
Yeah.
now.
But then I was like, my favorite thing about a pony is like when it waves. And then I was like,
No.
I can't actively like be moving.
Us on either side.
We're swaying her.
She wants the pony to
This is her last
her
wish.
dying wish.
She just wants the pony to pony. And it's a lot to ask. So I'm not going to. So if you are into funeral hairstyles, also hit me up. I'd love to
I know
consider.
someone who's into that.
Um,
Friend of a
Okay.
friend.
Friend of a friend. Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe like a half up, half down if I'm standing up.
I'm gonna
Okay,
give
well,
you
I
a
don't-
You
perm.
don't wear any of those hairstyles.
Yeah, why are you
now.
going so rogue?
Well, I'm dead.
You should do a wig then. If you're
That's
gonna go
good.
rogue, do dreads
Do a
or
weave.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah, do cornrows.
Cornrows.
They can't,
Yeah,
they can't kill you for that.
it's true. You're already
If
dead.
you know anyone that does cornrows on the dead,
Seb, give her your guy.
um.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I was scrolling on Instagram because I'm locked out of my Facebook, and I'm gonna show them the video. We're gonna put it on the screen. I'm just gonna show you guys.
Just show us
And
because
get
it's
your
gonna play for
reaction.
them and we're not gonna get it live.
Yeah.
What is the date today? I completely, and
Thursday.
Thursday,
The 20th.
I was completely wrong, wasn't I? I had the dates wrong all this time. Did he come on out? He's.
Welcome back after watching that video. It's a video, obviously you just saw it, of Diddy surprising a bunch of kids with cancer. And a lot of things went through my mind when I saw this. First of all, who picked Diddy? Like, how is
Oh my
Diddy big with the
gosh.
kids?
I was
'Cause
gonna
Diddy
say
wasn't big
I
with...
wouldn't know who Diddy was.
I knew
as
who
a-
Diddy
and those
was.
are like
yeah, either.
some little white girls. Maybe that's
Did Diddy pick...
The internet's forever.
tricky. Seb,
Okay.
we're gonna
Yep,
be wise.
yeah.
Seb, we're gonna be wise. Anyway,
What would Seb do? What would Seb do?
what would Seb is saying pivot. So my
I'm
other thing
surprised
was,
that they would know who Diddy was.
I just
Yeah,
wanted. I wanted to make space for that. I want
Put it in your laps.
I want us to rest with that and think,
Okay.
not us, not us now.
Okay.
I'm
I
not
was
resting
resting.
with Diddy.
I can't rest. I have no rest while Diddy is walking.
While Diddy's just on
While
the
Diddy-
streets, I can't
While
rest.
Diddy is Diddying, I am not resting. Yeah, I was like, what is our thing gonna be in 10 years? Where we're like,
that's
we
like
let
that didn't
happen.
age well?
We let that happen. Like,
Well, now
then
it's
it was
interesting
Diddy.
because now that's coming up because Diddy didn't age well. Neither did Ellen.
No.
She's
No,
isn't she's
She got
leaving the
canceled,
country.
didn't she? Is she?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Because of Trump.
Yeah, I think because
and
of
that
the
was
election.
for my girl Wendy.
Is Wendy also leaving?
No,
I hope
no,
not.
I hope Wendy's staying. I don't think any other country can. Wendy Williams, if you will. Well, I don't think any other country can handle Wendy.
Yeah.
Those bug eyes got to stay here. Yeah.
Yeah. She's fine.
Wendy, we
Yeah,
quote you
Ellen didn't age
constantly.
well either. So now that it looks like Ellen set Diddy up to meet these cancerous children on the show,
That's not-
crazy.
Bleep that.
Don't bleep that. They're gonna cancer. They're gonna be like, what adjective?
Children with cancer.
What adjective did she use?
Children with
Bleep
cancer.
that adjective. Those bleep kids.
Cancer's is worse. Let him think. Let him imagine something else.
Oh.
Oh my
I
god.
hope they're well, and I hope they're free from Diddy.
Yeah.
And Ellen.
Speaking of celebrities, did y'all hear who's playing the new Rapunzel?
No.
Let us guess. No. Wait.
No.
Is
Does
she
have dreads?
white?
No.
We both went race catching. She's not white.
Is it Zendaya?
Is she black?
It's Jada Pinkett Smith.
Oh my gosh. Wait.
I just saw a rumor.
No, that has to be a meme.
that
That has to be a
That's
meme.
not
that
real.
people are saying that Jada is being either considered or casted.
No, that's
for
such a meme.
Rapunzel. And I saw it, and I was watching a bunch of people react to this because I was like, and people are like, this can't be true. Like, this can't, who let this out? Who? And I saw that, and I had to make space for that. I had to make a lot of room for that one.
That's
you-
insane.
Can you imagine if they didn't give her hair? Like, you know how Disney's doing their thing right now of like,
Yeah, everything
let's
ADA.
redo the princesses.
Which I also hate because
but
like
wouldn't that? Go ahead.
even they're trying to represent half of my people. And I'm like, just let the gingers like be. Just let there be a white redhead princess. Like, we didn't need that. We weren't asking for that. And then the
Jada?
opposite way, I would hate if they did Princess and the Frog
Yeah.
and made it like some blonde girl. I would hate that.
But wouldn't it be? You know how
And now they're
Disney's
doing the same thing with
reframing
Rapunzel. It
everything.
sucks.
Like the way they did Snow White, she isn't going to be saved by a man. And I'm like, well, that's the story.
It's like
of
all
Snow White.
feminism. I'm fine if
Yeah.
they do that in the new movies because you're not basing it off of any classic. Like Frozen, okay, that's a new one. Write it however you want.
Exactly.
That's your original. But like, stop messing with the classics. Let our people be.
mm-hmm.
And our
Yeah.
people, as in Walt.
Let Walt rest.
Let Walt rest.
Wow.
Walt didn't age well, I don't think. But
One of my friends, we went to mini golf or whatever, and they were like, "Oh, next year is some big anniversary for Disney." I wouldn't know. I'm not a Disney adult, but they go, "Do you think they're gonna unfreeze Walt?"
No,
Walt
no.
is frozen.
Is
I
it
think
true?
that's just a conspiracy.
Paul is Walt frozen.
I think it's a conspiracy, but Paul's kind of nodding. I think it's a well-backed conspiracy.
Wow.
I feel so. I'm just gonna let that sit with y'all. I'm gonna make space. I don't know why Kaleah's using that every
I love
other
it.
word.
Make space is so fun.
Defy gravity.
We need to make space for that.
Make space. Yeah. So
Interesting. It's
will
an interesting
Walt?
conspiracy.
Would Walt be happy with the Disney that is now? Not to not to give any plugs to Disney. Like,
Yeah.
Would Walt be happy?
honestly,
Period.
hope y'all get overthrown. But Walt would be like, bread is $10? Like, I don't think. Yeah,
We
that's a better question.
There's mixed races at Disneyland? That's not what the happiest place on
What happened to the separate bathrooms? Who took that down?
Who did that?
Yeah. Y'all have a Star Wars world? Y'all have little...
He goes, I just saw someone brown walk into Cinderella's castle. They didn't even use the servant entrance.
Y'all have men running the Bippity Boppity Boutique. That's wrong.
Yeah, Walt would great
That's what's not
point.
going to age well. Right now, we're all like, let people do whatever, be whatever, and whatnot. And then in 10 years, when all of the little girls who are at the Bippity Boppity Boutique now are like, this weird thing happened to me.
Yeah.
Because all of the people working there are men. We're going to be like, who would have thought?
Yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
point.
That's not going to age well.
What's a great point out of Walt
Mhm.
is that I thought, yeah, like, how would he react to the Disney now? That is not his first priority. He's first and foremost just going to be like, the economy, race, like,
Yeah.
the presidency, anything, pop culture. Oh, people would be obsessed with him too, and he probably would have very little notion why.
Oh, that's so sad. Walt, stay dead.
Walt, stay frozen.
Walt, if you can hear...
There's
Walt,
not much out here for
Definitely
you.
the title is Walt Stay
Walt,
Dead.
stay frozen.
Walt, we want what's best for you, babe. Stay dead.
Don't, babe, Walt. He
Stay
might
dead.
be alive next year.
I hope not.
Yeah, he would hate it. He would hate it.
I hate it. Just kidding.
He would.
I-
We should have had Walt on the Pilates. Like, Walt would be like, I wish they'd
Freeze
never
me.
have frozen
Freeze me.
Yeah, freeze me right now.
Freeze me back.
Thaw me out when I'm off this plane and in America. That's the only place I want to be.
Gosh.
He just emergency exits the plane. We never treat it like
I
it's
would
an
have
option.
taken a felony. Well, it's a felony. What do you mean? We never treated it?
Jumping out of the plane?
Because for most people, it's not an option. They don't want a prison sentence.
If I'm not making it to the ground if I go out the door.
Why do you check me like that? She goes, idiot. What?
You were like, you're going to get a felony. I'm like, I'm going to be dead if I jump from 10,000 feet.
Yeah, true.
I mean, on
That was your
the
legitimate
Valaris
out?
flight.
Yeah.
If I didn't even consider, I'm like, God, take me. God's like, girl, there's an emergency exit. Take it
I'm giving
yourself.
you away. Take it yourself. Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Because
Oh my
that's
gosh.
embarrassing more than anything. I would
I
never
let the
have the
slide
guts.
out.
Yeah.
I would never have the guts to open that door. Can you
I
imagine the type
honestly-
of audacity
I
that
question
takes?
all the time if
Mhm.
they actually open. Like, do we
Ooh,
are they just...
just for show? That would be heavily illegal, but how are we going to find out?
You know what? There has to be some sort of like safety regulation to where it only opens if like they unlock it or something, right? Because what if kids
No,
are
you
like
see the
fiddling?
manuals.
Yeah.
But what if like kids are like fiddling around with it or something?
It's literally a felony. They don't allow kids under like 15 or something in that row.
I don't
Kids
know.
wander though.
I've seen
Yeah,
flight
kids for
attendants
sure
do
will.
it, and I'm like, looks too easy.
Or what if
I heard
somebody's,
it's
like,
really hard to open those
suicidal?
doors. Like, really.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's probably happened before.
We should look that up later.
Yeah, we should.
How many people have
Anyways,
yeah.
do you have a cane word for us? We should close out because we haven't closed out with a cane word in a while.
Honestly, I don't have anything new.
Lauren knows some slang too. Oh, do you have a
Oh,
slang
I
word
got
for
a
us?
new one.
Wait,
I have a
yeah,
new
that's
one.
even better.
One of my bosses, Clay, shout out, taught me a new one. High octane. Have you guys heard of that?
High
Like
octane.
gas?
Like that's so high octane. It's
Why are we making it
equivalent
one word?
to lit.
Yeah, wait, is that one
high
word?
octane.
Did it have to be one word? Maybe it's like high hyphen octane. Does
Well,
that
I
count?
thought it was
that
high
is two
octane.
words. Octane is
It's all I got.
pertaining to gas.
Can we count it?
That's
high
high
octane.
octane.
High
High
octane.
octane.
And that's high octane.
That's like high octane.
So lit is now
like
high.
equivalent
So
to
we're just
lit.
getting more technical with
no,
slang.
no. High octane came before lit. That's like back in the days.
That's like, okay, oil came before fire, I guess. Like, what?
Yeah.
High octane.
High octane, I think, was like 80s ish, like that era.
Do we know? We know people.
I almost said, did they have gas in the 80s?
I was
Yeah,
gonna
they
say,
did. They
I
did.
almost
They
said,
did.
do we know
Confirm.
people that were alive in the 80s?
Do we know people My mother, alive in the 80s. Father, alive in the 80s.
Let us know.
Let us know if you were alive in the 80s.
And if you know what high octane is.
Is it 2 words? Like, let us know all.
You're saying that as one word?
That's,
And is that purposeful?
high octane?
How?
I'm saying it as high octane.
Yes, you're saying it
High
as
octane.
High
High
octane.
And you're
High
saying
octane.
high octane?
Uh-oh.
All right. With
That's a good place to end.
Hey, Walt, stay frozen.
Let it
Bye, y'all.
rest.